Okay, so I wanted to talk about something when it comes to the whole idea of surrendering, releasing the need to control. Um, Anytime you make plans or something like that and you dictate what way you want it to turn out, or you've kind of envisioned a specific set of steps to go on, yes, taking the first step is crucial, and yes, taking steps is important for the whole idea of manifestation. You have to be able to move in order for anything to come in, really. And also clearing out the old stuff's important too. But ultimately, when it comes to wanting things to turn out exactly the way you had planned, it doesn't always work out that way. So you need to be able to surrender and just let it go to the whole entire divine universe, kind of just turn it over and say, you know what? However it's supposed to play out, it's going to play out the way it's supposed to. And just trust yourself and trust the divine universe for mapping out things for you, because you got to take into consideration it's not just you that's involved in this. We are a collective, so there is like multiple people at play at one time that have their own free will doing their own thing, that come in to your bubble, into your universe and your reality. And it's a lot more. It's more complex than a chess game almost when it comes to any energies helping you out or the way things are supposed to play out. The whole idea of a domino effect, excuse me. And if you're constantly dictating and wanting it to work out in only one way and one way only, and you're shut off to everything else, that's like cutting yourself off almost. It's really not going to help you. And being stubborn about it is your ego. So it's almost like the idea that if things go out the way you planned exactly, it's almost satisfying, fulfilling. And if they don't, that everything else is ruined. Well, then it's not appreciating the good things that happen during the process. It's not appreciating or having gratitude for the things that do work out. It's not fully grasping the concept that there's more to it than meets the eye. So things are going to happen and you may not understand. Sometimes towers happen in order to make way for new things, especially removal of anything or losing something, even though it's not technically a loss unless you're codependent and attached to something. So that's where the art of detachment comes in as well. Not necessarily being completely cut off emotionally or not being empathic, but just like not becoming too attached to anything is very important. Because the moment you start doing that, you become codependent emotionally on that specific thing for whatever reason. And usually it stems from something in past childhood. Anyways, that aside, when it comes to surrendering and letting things go with the flow, it's very important you understand things will work out the way they're supposed to. Things need to be shifted and moved around, almost like a Rubik's Cube, but not quite. Sometimes there's going to be variables that you don't even see. Now, maybe higher energies or whoever you're working with, whether you're religious, you believe in God, or if you believe in your ancestors or something like that, they're going to be making certain move behind the scenes, which you should be grateful for and thank for, but you may not even be fully aware of it. Like, there's going to be energies that are aware of certain things going on around you that you are not. Even if you're empathic, even if you're in tune and intuitive yourself, there's always going to be certain variables that are out of your control, because the only thing you have control over is yourself. And you have to be able to break the ego down and allow things to play out the way they're supposed to, even if it's not 100% the way you want it exactly. So that whole idea of being stubborn is really going to hold you back, in my personal opinion, my experience. The more you're stubborn about something going specifically the way you want it to go, the more you're going to come up, you're not so much in the flow, you're going to hit some sort of resistance. And then just thinking everything's ruined because one little thing doesn't go a specific way is also not a good habit to get into, because then you start focusing and manifesting on the negative. So keep that in mind. It's very important that when you do surrender, it's not like giving up. Okay, there's a difference. It's almost like a state of being that you trust yourself and you trust the way things play out, so much so that you're kind of free. Not like a free fall, but almost. You have like a blind faith in yourself or your religious beliefs or the divine universe itself, and you just trust that things will work out the way it is. Believe me, there is nothing to really truly fear as long as you're not being hunted down or chased by a wild animal or something, or your life's in danger for real. You have to understand that all these other fears that come into our brains, they're just concepts. And when we focus on the concept, that's where the real issue begins, because your brain is so powerful, you are powerful, that if you're holding on to the negative things and you're holding on to the negative emotions and you're focusing solely on that, that's what you're going to manifest in whatever way, shape, or form. Same with the positive. Excuse me again. Oh, this weather change is really messed up. You go from nice and sunny and now it's like spitting snow. Anyways, that aside, I'm sure you get the gist of what I'm trying to say and you understand fully, because you're a very intelligent person and you do know that sometimes the ego gets in the way and sometimes we can block the things that are meant to come in towards us. I speak from experience. And all those things you manifest that you really truly want, when you surrender, okay, again, it's not giving up, it's surrendering to the idea that things will work out the way they're supposed to, and stop being so micromanaging every little detail, because I've done it too and it got me nowhere. It's nice to calculate, make plans, take the necessary steps, but as far as expecting things to go perfectly, it's not always the most healthy approach. Okay, so hopefully that helps.